Hello, friends. Welcome to TSF Podcast. January 24th is International Day of Education, and we celebrate National Girl Child Day in India. Today, we have with us Smita Agarwal, Head Education, Tata Steel Foundation. Welcome, Smita. And why don't you start by telling us about the theme for this year's International Day of Education, which is to invest in people and prioritize education?
The year 2023 marks the midpoint of the SDGs, and education is being prioritized to accelerate progress. And at this juncture, the international community has called for action in a few critical areas. These are foundational learning, green education, digital learning, uh, gender equality, and learning during crisis situations.
That is interesting. Should we take these up one by one and see how Tata Steel Foundation's education program is aligned with them?
Tata Steel's education signature program is very much in alignment with the SDG goal number 4.
Okay.
The goal of our education signature program is um, equitable and quality secondary education for all children through a revitalized public education system,
Okay.
enabling every child to realize her full potential. Uh, our approaches are also very much aligned with these five critical areas that I just mentioned.
Oh, speaking of which, you mentioned foundational learning first. Should we speak about that?
Foundational learning has been a matter of great concern in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and the impact of 2 years of misschooling has been the maximum on children in early primary years, which is the 6 to 9 year olds.
Yes.
And this has been far more acute in communities which are marginalized.
Right.
So, Tata Steel Foundation runs the Education Signature Program in partnership with Aspire,
Okay.
and it is operational in Orissa and Jharkhand, covering 40 blocks, including 2 entire districts, in
Okay.
saturation mode.
Mm-hmm.
To address this crisis, we launched the Foundational Learning Campaign,
Okay.
which is reaching out to 250,000 children in 4754 schools. And after a few months of this campaign in operation, we are seeing a huge uptake by children due to the innovative pedagogical methods being employed. And our aim is to meet the learning gaps to a very significant degree by March this year. We also have a similar intervention in Jamshedpur for children on the streets and slums, which is also going on.
So that brings us to our second critical area, that of climate change and greening education.
We started work in the area of climate change and environment about 3 years back. We initially worked with children on SDGs. We exposed children and also communities to 6 selected SDGs that were directly applicable in their areas. We use projects, activities, films to communicate the message of the SDGs to the children. It was a very enriching experience, and it was the first exposure for children on the environmental issues. Subsequently, we started using feature stories of climate change impacts in different habitats. For example, the pastoralists in Gujarat, the human and wild conflict in Maharashtra, the impact on the sea diving community due to sea warming in Tamil Nadu coasts, the impact of chemical agriculture in Orissa, the dwindling population of yaks in Ladakh. We also touched upon some news stories internationally, the wildfires that spread across the entire world, and also the extreme weather events. So, children deeply engaged with these topics, and they also do parallels with several of them within their own environment. We also run a green education program in partnership with Terry, in which we focus on 4 areas: water, biodiversity, waste, and energy. And children learn in interaction with experts, and they create projects which they run in their communities and their school. And this has also been a very big environmental exposure program.
Such exposure to rural children is really heartening, Smita. Should we now speak about the crucial area of digital learning?
Lockdown has again been an opportunity for us to explore how to meaningfully integrate technology in learning. And we used a lot of internet resources, apps, and also now gamified learning platforms, which has taken learning out of the textbooks and widened its scope much more. And this has been this has been a great experience for children, not only for children, for also their parents and communities. But the issue that we face is that our areas have very low internet presence. Only 14% families in our areas have access to smartphones. So now our aim is to ensure that every single one of our 6,000 villages has a smart device.
Okay.
Recently, we also introduced computational learning to our tribal children, and 5,000 of them took part in the International Weber's Challenge also.
So, this brings us to the critical issue of gender equality. This issue is of paramount importance. Would you like to speak on that next?
Well, girls and women are seizing opportunities for growth far faster than men, as you can see.
That's true.
And it is no different in our project areas. Our project covers at the moment 1.3 million children. And because we work in the universalization mode, all girls are in. So basically 50% of the children that we cover are girls.
Okay.
Here I would also add that in the last few years of our project, we have brought 48,000 out of school children who were engaged in labor back into school. And half of these are girls as well.
Oh, wow.
And girls' participation is equal to boys in all program aspects.
Okay.
Additionally, we are working on certain other themes like child marriage, and also for adolescent girls, we are looking at the area of reproductive and sexual health.
Okay.
We also emphasize a lot on girls' participation in areas such as sports, STEM learning, English, design thinking, and so these are typically unconventional areas for girls.
Undeniably, Smita, those were the unconventional areas earlier, and great to see TSF efforts in these areas. So that brings us to the final critical area, that of continued learning during crisis situations. Could you please expound on that?
So, lockdown pushed our backs against the wall.
Very true.
And but for us, learning continuity was a non-negotiable. Okay. So this became a time for us for exploration, experimentation, and basically design thinking. And the lockdown learning initiative that we created enabled us to bide over the 2 years of school closures and continue the learning of 150,000 children across over 4,500 of our villages through our 4,000 plus teachers and volunteers. Lockdown also helped us to get a different perspective on children's learning potential altogether. Because this made us redesign the learning content and pedagogy totally. Okay. And we were sending learning tasks to children on a weekly basis. And the learning was taking place using local environs and the internet. Okay. And this really led to an explosion of learning. Oh. So when the children went back to school after 27 months, the government school teachers who were expecting a lot of regression in children's abilities found their levels to be much higher than even the pre-COVID times.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
to
that
know.
was
really so interesting.
exactly.
Smita, thank you for your insights on how Tata Steel is in sync with critical areas of action in the international space on education. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned for the next podcast.